Are you going to the gym, eating healthy, yet you're still feeling tired, stressed, and anxious? Do you sometimes just have the desire to get off the treadmill and sit yourself down? Welcome to Unstoppable Mindset. My name is Susanna Hart, and today's topic is the shocking reason my doctor told me I was healthy but not well. Yes, healthy but not well. What does that actually mean? I will explain it to you in a moment. This conversation is for you. If you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired, this is for you if you actually believe you can have it all and do it with ease, grace, and flow. I am so excited for this topic tonight. So as you join us, as you come on in, please let me know who you are, where you're hailing from, and what you do while you're living. Let us know what brought you out tonight and what you might want to take away from this particular topic. As you also come on, put all your information, start networking, start connecting with people, because this is our virtual networking moment. I'm also going to ask you to bless a life. And what that means is share, share, and share. Share to your page, share to a page of a friend. Invite a friend to join you as you watch this live. I am thrilled to be here and excited for the topic. If you are listening to the replay, definitely hashtag replay. And I want you to do the same thing. I know you're listening to the replay, but let us know who you are, where you're joining us from, what part of the country, what part of the planet, and who you are called to serve and what you do while you're living. Let us know what brought you out. What are you looking to learn from this topic tonight? And as you go through the topic, when you love what you hear, and I believe you will, let us know what you're taking away. Comment, share. Definitely bless a life. And why do we do that? Because knowledge is power, but it is even more powerful when, one, we share it, and two, we get into conversations with those people that we know and really begin to create a dialogue. That's when things get deeper. Now, I'm so excited to jump into this topic. So I'm going to get us started. So welcome to my Unstoppable Mindset. As I said, my name is Suzanne Hart, and today's topic is shocking reasons why my doctor actually told me I was healthy but not well. So I'm going to dive right into a short story to just kind of situate you in this topic. This happened for me probably about 18 years ago. I was working in Toronto, managing one of the largest drop-ins in the downtown core of the city. And our clientele were women with mental health, women with addictions issues, women that were living on the street. We saw about 150 women a day. And I supervised a crisis team of about 30 people. Now, you might say, yes, I am an adrenaline junkie. I loved what I did. I truly did. But after 4 years in, I was exhausted. I was tired. Truly, I was burning the candle at both ends, right? And one day I remember sitting or standing at the base of some stairs, 4 steps actually, fighting back tears because I no longer had the energy to work my way up 4 steps. Truly. And I didn't really know what to do. Why? Because I was a crisis manager, and I felt like I was in crisis and I wasn't able to support myself, much less support anyone else. On the home front, we were $50,000 upside down in credit card debt. My marriage was struggling. And we had 3 boys that were busy all over the city, and I was attempting to do it all. If you're one of those people out there that's juggling and spinning plates and doing many things at once, and that is who you believe you are in the world, put "that's me" in the comments section. Absolutely put those words, because that's who I was. Now, you see, as this is all going on, the backstory is I had been going back and forth to my doctor because I had lost 10 pounds of lean muscle and my energy was getting less and less. I was emotional. My emotions were up and down. And truly, I was probably on the brink of burnout and didn't know. And whenever I go to the doctor, I'd say, there's something definitely wrong with me. I need you to run some tests. And he would run his test and he'd come back with the same thing. Suzanne, you're healthy. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. And I would get frustrated and I would get angry. And I just really didn't know what to do. And then one faithful day, as I'm sitting in his office and we're having this dialogue, he said to me, Suzanne, honey, you're healthy, but you're not well. And I looked at him and I said, I don't know what you're talking about. How could I actually be healthy, but not well? This began an incredible journey. And that was the first time I learned the distinction between health, fitness, and wellness. And we'll dive into that today. But as my doctor told me this, I began to cry. I began to cry uncontrollably, and my anger and frustration and hurt and all those feelings, the shame came to the surface. Why? Because I couldn't understand why I was supposed to be at the top of my game, at the peak of my career, and I was physically exhausted, financially upside down, and I had truly been suffering in silence. Because I don't know about you, but I bought the myth that if I went to school, got a great education, climbed that proverbial ladder, that I would live happily ever after. And I was anything but happy. And if this was going to be my future, I was ready to be done with it, truly. And that was my frustration. But those words in my doctor's office began a journey, because he said to me that if you don't change how you're living, you aren't going to do very well. He actually told me I wouldn't survive my situation. That was my wake up moment. That was the moment where I really had to do some soul searching. So I remember going home and having another cry, one of those crocodile, big tears, childlike, like scary cries. And then when that was done, I felt a little bit of a relief, but I still didn't know what to do. So I began to pray. I began to pray for an answer, saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do anything different. And this was the thing. I didn't have enough hours left to get another job. I didn't have enough energy to get another job. I didn't have more time to spend between my family, my career, and the things I wanted. I was just stretched to the limit. So I was searching and I got a phone call. I got a phone call from a girlfriend and she said to me, Suzanne, I have found something that is going to totally turn our life around. She began to talk to me about the network marketing company that I eventually joined. But when I received the phone call that day and she said she had found something, I had the audacity to say, oh, girlfriend, I am fine. I don't know why you're calling me. And I hung up the phone. Have you ever, and I see Cindy out there, I see Taria, I think I saw Diana. Welcome, Diana. Have you ever had someone offer you a lifeline, but pride gets in your way and you say, oh no, I'm fine, I'm okay, it's all good? If that is you, put yes in the comment section. And I know some of you, so I'm expecting a yes in the comment section. Well, that is what I did. Luckily, my friend Susan called me every day for 7 days. She was determined. I don't know what she had on her heart, but whatever she did have on her heart, it totally changed my life, because I eventually looked at what she was offering and I said yes. And that yes began a journey that changed my life. Because as I began to use the products and services of this company, my health began to shift. But this was the interesting thing. As my health began to shift and I began to look at things, I began to see a few things differently. The first thing I began to realize was what my doctor was talking about, the distinction between health, fitness, and wellness. So I want to unpack that for you, because we say health and wellness all the time, but do we actually know what we're talking about? I see some yeses and some yup in the comment section. Those of you who identify yourself as a doer, you can juggle plates, spin tops, and do many things at once, and that is who you are in the world. I will say to you, that might be a challenge that we're going to talk about. So what began to happen was I began to look at this distinction, and this distinction really cleared a few things up for me. So, the first thing, health. Health, I'm going to define for you as internal. It lives in the nutrition and hydration, and it is really what you put in your body that nourishes and rebuilds your cells and does all that stuff. So it's your nutrition, your hydration, your food, your vitamins, all those, your minerals. It's all those things that create your health. Your health is also those things that when you go to the doctor, they kind of measure your blood pressure, all those wonderful things, your heart rate, all those things, your sugars, that's your health. And we take care of it by what we put into our body, by our resting, our sleeping, all those wonderful things, right? So that's health. Then there's fitness. Now, fitness is how what we do in the gym, what we do when we're running, what we do when we're moving our body. It is the exercise. And that kind of shows up in our physical fitness, but it kind of shows up in our appearance, our muscle tone, our fat percentage, and the combine of nutrition and fitness all creates this thing, this fitness. So nutrition and health and fitness, that's what it creates, how we look. What's interesting is the diet work has us very preoccupied with how we look and not really real nutrition, but these crash diets. So there's that kind of dichotomy. So my doctor was saying to me that your health internally, you're fine, honey. I've done your blood work. I've looked at your vitals. You're okay. I was fit, a former athlete. I was toned. I had lost 10 pounds of lean muscle, but it wasn't having anything to do with my health. This was my aha moment. It was my wellness. My wellness. And I thought my fitness and my health created this wellness thing. But what he talked to me about was my wellness was my mindset. It was my ability to manage the stress in my life. It was my ability to cope with the things that were influencing my life and bombarding me. I had never looked at my wellness. And what he was really saying, and I want you guys to get this, all you people that put yes in the comment section, my ability to spin plates and multitask and do 25 things at once, that was actually the challenge because I was overloading myself. I was stressing myself. And so that was my first aha moment. And as I began to look at it, what I began to realize was that was who I was in my world. That was who I was for myself. And so when I asked myself, who would I be if I wasn't giving to other people, doing for other people, spinning all the plates and being that yes person? My fear was people wouldn't see my value if I wasn't giving to them. If that is you, I really want you to hear that and put that's me in the comment section. So part of my challenge was my identity was wrapped up in doing all these things for other people. But this was also the interesting thing. While I was doing for other people, I was privately and secretly pissed off. I got you, Stacy. That's you. I got it. I was privately and secretly pissed off. Why? Because I acted like I had it all handled. I didn't need any help. I could spin plates and walk and do all these things at once. And when people actually offered to contribute to me, I would say, I'm fine, I'm good, I got it handled. So what happened was people weren't contributing to me, and I was pissed off because I was wondering why no one would help me. Well, no one would help me because I taught them how to treat me. So my wellness was wrapped up in my own way of being, and I didn't know how to ask for help, but I also did not know how to set boundaries. So part of why I'm having this conversation tonight is because your wellness, my wellness, is not found in the gym. It is not the things we put in our body. It is how we manage the stressors that impact our lives. It is our ability to set boundaries and be learn to say no and pull into those our lives the things that serve us, but also manage what's on our plate. So for me, it began to have me look at this whole concept of serving from a full cup. Serving from a full cup. So what do I mean by that? What I began to look at was that how do I take care of Suzanne and be able to serve? That was the first thing. And what I realized was that the first cup I must fill every day is my cup. And so when I set boundaries, it was really about being able to pour into myself before I pour and serve someone else. Now, some people might be looking and saying, that sounds kind of selfish. Well, this was my aha. If I gave so much to other people that I could no longer take care of me or anyone else, then I was not of any use to me or anyone else. But when I began to fill my cup up first, and give from the overflow. So if you picture a cup, full cup brimming over with fluids, and you're giving from what's in the saucer. That was the analogy that I began to paint for myself. And that is how I began to live my life. So every single morning, the first 2.5 hours in the morning belong to Suzanne. I don't turn my phone on. I don't answer a phone call. I don't check a text. I don't go on any form of technology. I work out, I meditate, I pray, I read, I journal, and I fill my cup up first. And I make sure that I'm plentiful when I start my day. But also this was the other thing, is I end my day at a very clear time. I ensure I get 7 hours of sleep, and I create this beautiful bookend in terms of what time of the day belongs to me. I also never work on Sundays. I am that person. Sundays is Suzanne's day for rest, recovery, all those things. I do a lot of reading on Saturday mornings. And I only do things by appointment. So I'm either speaking on a Saturday or training on a Saturday, but our office is actually not open. So I have this clear notice. I'm setting boundaries around how I make myself available to other people. Now, this is the interesting thing. As I began to do this, and as I began to do it at the same job where I was working so much overtime that I was burnt out, really, as I began to put in place this structure, I actually became more effective and I began to produce more, right? So the next question I want to answer is, what kind of mindset allows that to happen? And as I began to reflect, and as I was preparing actually for this presentation, this talk, I had to look back and go, what kind of mindset actually had me go from working less and producing more and setting clear boundaries? And I'll say to you is I moved from busy to productive. Busy to productive. Now, when I was busy, I also had a scarcity mindset. And a scarcity mindset is something that says that if I don't do, people won't value me. If I set too many boundaries, I might miss something. If I'm not available to everyone, I might miss an opportunity. That is a very much a scarcity or a lack mindset. It sits in the place that there's not enough, and I have to always be available, or I would miss something. As I began to set these boundaries, what also had to shift was my mindset and by the way I was thinking. And I had to begin to move or choose to move from busy to productive. And productive meant that I was beginning to do the things that really move my life forward. And I began to delegate and give away the things that could be done by other people. And so it really began to set these clear boundaries around my life. So, how many of you are running around trying to do everything? And have you ever stopped to ask, what actually needs to be done by me? What actually makes me happy and makes my heart sing? What can I actually delegate and give to other people? And as I began to do this, my other aha moment happened because when I went back to work and I started making these shifts, I decided I wasn't going to work overtime. And I was working a lot of overtime. Well, how did I do that? I actually engaged the team that I was working with, and my concept of leading began to shift. And what I began to look at was that as a leader, I was supposed to create this thing called duplication. In other words, I was supposed to train members of my team to replace me. I began to absolutely delegate. You're right, Stacy. So I began to train members of my team to replace me. So what began to happen was all the responsibilities that I had been holding on to because I thought that was what began to make me valuable, I actually began to give it away. I began to release it. Now, this was the interesting thing. As I allowed other people to contribute to me, they actually felt more valuable. They began to be excited about coming to work. Why? Because they saw that I saw their value. They saw that I saw their strength. They felt trusted by me, and magic began to happen in my team. I also began to do the same thing with my family. I began to delegate and give things to my children. And as I began to do it, they began to take pride in keeping the kitchen clean, doing their laundry, cleaning their rooms, doing all these amazing things. And not only was I teaching them, but I was building their self-esteem and their self-worth and giving them responsibilities that grew them. So I began to delegate. When I actually finally left my job, my boss would joke with me because I would sit in my office and I'd be like, "Do you have anything for me to do?" And she'd be like, "What is going on?" What was going on was I had empowered my team to really take on leadership because I was allowing them to contribute, and I held on to the things that actually could only be done by me. And at that point, it really wasn't a lot, but it also created this clearing in my life for me to take on new projects that nourished me and fueled me. And that began the beginning of my transformation. So I moved from a mindset of scarcity to abundance, from busy to productive, from working hard to working smart. These were the mindset shifts that began to happen. But I also began to realize a totally different thing. And this didn't happen at my work. This happened in my network marketing business. And I really began to understand the difference between going somewhere to do a job and going somewhere to contribute value. And this was like the I want to say mind-blowing moment, but it was such a shift in terms of who I saw myself to be in the world. You see, I believe that none of us actually knows how valuable we are. And we're trained to equate our value to what someone will trade our time for, right? So people are accustomed to saying, I'm worth this amount an hour, I'm worth that amount of hour. But what if nobody can actually put a dollar figure on your value? What if? And what I began to realize was my value was based on the outcome I produced, not the time I spent doing it, but the outcome I was able to produce. And so for me, what began to really begin to sink in was that this working smart was really beginning to create massive, amazing outcomes in less time. And that began to make the shift because now what I was learning to do was I could show up for less time, be paid what I was worth or more than I was making, but create excellence in a space, deliver huge value. And that began to expand my mind because what I began to understand was that I could create this massive lifestyle, this abundant lifestyle, but it didn't mean burning myself out. It didn't mean working really hard. It really lived in this place of collaborating with other people, casting massive visions that were so valuable that people were willing to pay more for it, and producing beautiful results, excellent, if you will, in less time. And that began to create the shift. But this was the thing that really made it happen, was that the more I began to value my time, in other words, the time I spent pouring into Suzanne, the more value I was able to give back in less time. And it sounds, like it doesn't make sense, but it makes perfect sense. So let me see if I can give you an analogy. I want you to think of how we nourish our bodies, right? Junk food, or food that is not nutritionally valued, often takes up more space and is way more calories, right? And so it's interesting because food that's not good for us is often thousands and thousands and thousands of calories. And what it does is it doesn't actually fuel our body in the most efficient way. So we have to eat more because we're eating more empty calories, we're eating more less effective calories, and we're eating more, and we think we're fueling our body. But what we're doing is we're putting calories in our body that doesn't nourish us. It doesn't build our muscle, it doesn't help our body recover, and it doesn't effectively fuel us. But when you put in high quality food, nutritionally dense food, you end up eating denser food. So you eat less and you get more in you. So it's nutritionally more dense, has more nutrients. It usually occurs in less calories, and it fuels your body more effectively and has your body recover more. And your body's able to produce more, although you ate less. See, the point I'm making is when we pour into ourselves, and we build ourselves physically, emotionally, spiritually on a day-to-day basis, we become abundant. We become full. We begin to kind of begin to vibrate excellence. And then we put that excellence into the marketplace. And then what happens is when we show up, we are able to deliver more with less time. Why? Because we've honed our message. We've tightened what we have to say. We bring more value to the table, and we show up differently. And that's what happens when we begin to fill our cup first. But it is an absolute and total mindset shift. I have one more thing I wanted to let you know, and I just want to make sure I'm going to check my notes here because I want to make sure I gave you all the goods tonight. So really what the big shift is for me, it was about how I measured and decided what success was. And you see, before, success had everything to do with hitting my goal and over delivering, giving more, giving. Success had to do with always being present. So success had to do with deliver. When I began to do this, and when I began to do this mindset shift, my definition of success began to also transform. So this is where the magic began to happen for me. And this is where my shift in when I redefined success made everything magical, because I began to produce from a place of joy, ease, and flow, and not from a place of scarcity, not from a place of fear, not from a place of I didn't hit my target, therefore I'm a failure. It was this brand new place. So this is how I redefine success. Success is not a goal. Success is not a dollar amount. Success is not a destination, and it is not getting somewhere. Imagine. It isn't a degree. It isn't all the trappings that we have. Because I want you to think of all the people that have a lot, but they're not happy, who have a lot, but they're burned out and they don't have joy in their life, who have a lot, but they don't have those moments where they can really experience the beauty and the juice and the fun in life. They have accomplished a lot, but I'm not sure they've experienced success. So what I began to look at was success in my world became an experience. Success is how I experience the journey. Because as long as the journey has growth, joy, abundance, flow, and all these juicy moments, these memories, I always feel successful. And I know I'll eventually hit my target because when I'm moving towards my target from a place of abundance, from a place of what's the lesson I have to learn, what's the growth available to me, what's the gift in this moment, what's the experience that I'm going to take away, what's the juicy moment I've had with the people I'm collaborating with, what begins to happen is although I might be working hard and working for some people a lot, the experience of it is so filled with abundance that it's a very different thing. It also allows me to keep these brackets on my life because my time with myself is also where success is cultivated. So it's really beginning to realign and redefine these things. But it lives in an understanding of what it means for me to guard my wellness, my physical, my emotional, and my spiritual wellness. So it is walking with a mindset of wellness in terms of managing what's influencing me, managing how I receive situations that may stress me in the past life, and really navigating them from this place of ease, abundance, flow, grace, lessons, and always in the forefront of asking myself, what would make this a successful experience for me? And it's never about hitting the target, although I more frequently hit my target now than I used to. It is about what's the experience I'm having on this journey? What's the way I'm experiencing this journey? And what I have learned is that more valuable than the money, than the goals, is who I become along the way and the relationships I build as I travel. Because this is the reality, this is the real deal. At the end of the day, I can't take the stuff, I can't take the money, although the money does pay for the ride, and I value that. But when I value the experience, the money always flows. But it's the experience on the journey that I actually remember. I don't remember the dollar figures so much. I remember the journey to the dollar figure, the journey that attracted the dollar figure. I don't often remember the target so much, but I remember the experience of what got me to that place, that target, and allowed me to hit the target. Do I celebrate hitting the target? Absolutely. But this is what I want you to take away. You can get to your destination fighting, tired, exhausted, and saying, that was hard, I'm never doing that again. And how many of you have gotten somewhere and yes, you hit your goal, but the goal left you empty. It felt not as meaningful because the experience wasn't a blessing. And then you can get somewhere and it could be hard. You grow, you challenge yourself. You had many lessons, you had things to overcome, but the experience of it had you feel successful. And you revel in that moment and you say, I would do that again. I'm going to recreate that. Why? because the energy to which you're doing it is different. Because not only are you going after what you desire, but you're doing it from a place of wellness. Wellness is a mindset. It is how you manage what is happening with you and through you, minute by minute, day by day. Sometimes it's second by second. Wellness is a choice we make because it has to do with how we perceive and receive every situation and how we recreate it as we move through it. So let's see what we're taking away. I see LaDawn has joined us. Hello, my friend. She says, good nuggets. Taria saying, this is so key, redefining success. I see some big yes. Stacy says, moving from busy to productive. Scarcity to abundance. Cindy saying, yes, I find myself in that trap of busy. And you know, as you say that, Cindy, when you find yourself in the trap of busy, probably you're focusing on the target. And this may sound really crazy. I truly believe that the target is the thing I aim at. So when I aim at the target, I aim at the target. But then I let it go. I've established a target. I know what it looks like. It's specific, it's measurable. I know what I need to get there. What I focus on, however, is honoring my word each day. So I set my goals for the day and I celebrate every single time I honor my word. Every single time I do what I'm said I was going to do. I honor when I honor myself. So when I get up in the morning and I do my routine and I give myself and I fill my cup, I honor that. So I create all these experiences that create my success. And my focus is day to day. So my days build my weeks build my months build my quarters build my year. And usually in that journey, I often hit my target. But I don't always keep looking way out there because that's far. And that's often where we get, I gotta get done. I break my target down into these bite-sized wins that allow me to celebrate today, success today, did what I was going to do, honored my word, and that feeds me and keeps me going. So I hope that serves. I hope that helps. So yeah, do not get into the trap of busy. Productive is outcome-based. What are the outcomes I'm going to achieve today? And outcomes are those things that move your business and your life forward. They aren't to-dos. To-dos is doing laundry. To-dos are doing dishes. Those are to-dos. Outcomes are those juicy things that you know when you accomplish, you feel movement happen. You feel closer to your goal. Great share. Taria saying, yes, I had to learn about boundaries the hard way. I think we all learned about boundaries the hard way, my friend. Fitness shows up in our physicality. Wellness is our mindset and our ability to manage our stressors. Ooh, I learned that one the hard way. All right, everyone. So what I'm going to ask you to do as we close is put into the comments section one thing that you're going to take away and implement in your life. So for you, Cindy, how are you going to stay productive rather than sitting in busy? For those of you that are spinning plates and giving to the world and not giving to yourself, it might be, what are you going to do over the next little while to fill your cup up first? For those of you that have a hard time setting boundaries, what are those boundaries you're going to set for yourself? One thing that you are going to take away and implement into your life. Now, this is a wellness conversation. So this is a work your fit conversation. So what I am going to do is we're going to drop a free gift into the comment section. This is the Work Your Fit, Find Your Fabulous Challenge. The way you access it is you go and you take the quiz. And this quiz will give you access to my Freedom Factor book. And it really talks about our mindset around self-care and wellness, right? Our ability to set those boundaries that create our wellness, because wellness, as I said, is a mindset. We're going to put that link in the comments section. When you click on it, it'll bring you to the page. You can register and take the quiz. And when you finish the quiz, what's going to happen is you're going to get a free chapter of the book that corresponds with the area that you need to focus on, a great starting place based on how you answered the question. So go ahead, take the quiz, register. That's a thank you for just spending Thursday evening with me. And then of course, in our description, we always have our mindset mastery course. So you can definitely register for that one as well. And this is all around looking at mindset. It's our mini course, and it talks about the mindset of, your mindset, emotional, mastering your emotions, mastering your communication. And it just gives you a great look at the whole concept of mindset mastery. So I want to thank you for hanging out with me this evening. As I said, this is Unstoppable Mindset. My name is Suzanne Hart. I will be back here next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are new and this is your very first time joining us and you want to find out more about Unstoppable Mindset and Mindset Mastery, and you want to hang out with some super achievers, because that's who we are, go knock on the Facebook group, Unstoppable Mindset for Super Achievers, and ask to join and come and hang out with us. We have conversations like this. We connect on a daily basis. We pour into the group different tips and tools throughout the week, and we'd love to have you be part of that conversation. All right, everyone, remember, know you're brilliant, know you are oh so special, and trust me, the world is waiting for you to put your unique gift into the marketplace. Blessings. I will see you back here next week, Thursday, with our special guest. So I'll see you then. Take care.